All rise, please, for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mayor Rowe,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Miller,
Present.
Councilman Racy,
Here.
Councilman Porter, has to be excused, Councilman Gabriel,
Present.
Councilman Webster,
Here.
Councilman Dowd.
Here.
First item is item 1, approve the agenda.
Move approval.
Support.
It's been moved by Councilman Webster, supported by Councilman Racy. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 2 are city council minutes. Item 2A are the special meeting minutes of August 2nd.
Wish of council?
Move to approve.
Support.
It's been moved by Mayor Pro Tem Miller and supported by Councilman Webster. Any questions, additions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Bless you.
Item 2B are the regular meeting minutes of August 7th.
Move to approve.
Support.
It's been moved by Mayor Pro Tem Miller, supported by Councilman Webster. Any additions, corrections, deletions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next item is item 2C, the special meeting minutes of August 14th.
Move to approve.
It's been moved by Councilman Webster, supported by Councilman Racy, to adopt the minutes from the special meeting. Any additions, deletions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next item is item 3, presentations. Item 3A is a presentation of Commendation Award ribbon to Sergeant Robert Amore, Officers Nicholas Baruda, Matthew Whalen, and Chad Coe.
Everybody standing in the hallway.
So there we
Good
go.
evening, Mayor, members of City Council. Just a little background on the awards for the Police Department. Every year, the Citation Board meets and they vote amongst themselves to nominate their peers for these certain awards. Tonight are the awards that were voted on and will be given out. The first award is going to Officer Nicholas Baruda, Matthew Whalen, and Chad Coe, if you guys could step up. A little background on this award. Back in April, the officers were dispatched to a house on Winifred on a subject who kicked in a door and grabbed a handgun from inside the apartment. When the officers entered the apartment, the subject was armed with a gun. They were able to talk him down and have him put the handgun down, and eventually arrested the suspect who was involved in this case. The officers did an excellent job.
Go in order. Robert Amore.
Oh, we didn't put a Maury on here. Sorry.
Matthew Whalen. And Chad Coe.
Sure. Okay.
Hey, Chief, get in there. Get in there, Chief.
Everybody pull together a little bit. Yep, I got it. Yep, thank you. All right, everybody ready? Got it. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Congratulations. Congratulations.
And item 3B is a presentation of Commendation Award ribbon to Officer Chad Coe.
Sir Cole, if you can step up again. Mayor and members of City Council, this incident happened in November of last year. Officers were dispatched to 7-Eleven over on Van Born, a report of armed robbery, carjacking. There was a female in the parking lot that was, two suspects had come up to her and pointed a handgun at her. The suspects did flee the scene. When the officers arrived, the suspect description was put out over the radio. Officer Coe then checked the area and actually located both subjects quite a ways away from the location at John and Second. Did an excellent job, got them both into custody and recovered the handgun involved. It's for these reasons why he's getting.
Item 3C is a presentation of commendation award ribbon to Lieutenant Ryan Strong, Sergeant Terrence Springer, Stephanie Strasser, Abraham Hughes, and Officer Stephen Perez, Jordan Arndt, and Jeffrey Grizz.
This incident occurred in July of 2017. As many of you know, this was very well documented in the media. At the Village Bar, there was an assault of a subject behind the bar during the evening. The victim was severely injured. The officers all involved in this incident did an outstanding job. The suspects that were involved that injured the victim had fled the scene. The officers did excellent police work to find everyone that was involved. Ultimately, 2 were charged with the crimes and were sentenced to lengthy prison sentence. So these officers would be commended for their actions on this case.
Terrence Springer, we'll make sure we get back to him. Public on duty. Stephanie Strasser also. Abraham Hughes, Sergeant. Stephen Perez. And Jordan Arndt. And we have one more is Jeff Grizz, but I'm sure you'll get that too.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I'll wait for a minute.
Thank you.
And item 3D is a presentation of commendation award ribbon to Lieutenant Ryan Strong, Sergeant Andrew McKay, and Officer Stephen Perez and Jordan Arndt.
Just a little background on this case for the officers who are receiving the awards. This was a great case. We hear a lot about the human trafficking problem that we have, and how this incident occurred was Officer Arndt was dispatched to the hospital on a underage criminal sexual conduct victim. Through their investigation and hard work, they located some individuals at an apartment complex in town, which in turn led to more suspects in the city of Detroit. Eventually, the city of Detroit took over their end of the investigation of what happened there, and several persons were charged with human trafficking. These officers did an excellent job following up on that. They're to be commended for this.
Sergeant Andrew McKay. Officer Stephen Perez. Officer Jordan Arndt.
Try and always get this number. I'll wait up here for this one.
And item 3E is a presentation of Meritorious Service Award ribbons to Sergeant Brent Cahill and Officer Nicholas Baruda.
This incident happened in November of last year where officers were sent a 911 hang-up to residents. And when they arrived, there was a younger male who was suffering with some mental difficulties. When the officers were there, he had come out of the side of the home and approached the officers with one arm in his pocket, telling the officers to shoot him. He said it multiple times to the officers. The officers displayed great restraint in getting the subject to comply. Eventually, Sergeant K was able to distract the subject, and he was able to tackle him to the ground and get him into custody and get him help. These officers did a fantastic job.
I know many of their families are here. If they'd like to get a picture, if they want to do a group shot and then have their families included, or how do you want to do it, Al?
We get all the officers up
Okay, all
there
the
first.
officers.
and,
Okay.
Sure.
Come on up. We have to do 2 rows. 2 rows. Gordon?
Take a picture in the back room.
You know you should be in the front, stop
Brad?
it.
Oh, that's good. Very good. Okay. You ready? Let's see what we got here. A little more. We'll go this way a little bit. All right. Hang out, Ryan. Very good.
We're seeing here right now.
Our officers, do you wish to have any pictures taken with any members of your family? All set? Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. Oh.
The next item is item 3F, presentation by Steve McGlattery, Library Director regarding the library and recent library millage. Nancy, oh, I'm sorry.
I'm not Stephen, but I am the acting director of the board for the library. My name is Nancy Chasen, and I would like to thank all the people who worked on the millage, to tell them what a beautiful job they did, and their diligence in passing the millage was outstanding, especially those people who voted yes. We have one major expense that we must deal with on our first millage money, and that's a new roof for the library. We've been given bids from $425,000 to $106,000. We have 2 more bids to come in, and as soon as those are in, then we can decide what else is going on our budget. We want to have more hours at the library, we want to have more staffed in the library, and then more books. So those are our wish list at this point. As soon as we figure out how much the library is going to cost, or the roof is going to cost, then we'll be able to go on with the rest of it. I guess that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions to any board? No? Okay. Thank you, Nancy.
Okay, the next item is item 4, requests. Item 4A is a request from Kathy Francavilla, Independent Carpet One, regarding Turn the Town Teal.
Move approval.
Support.
It's been moved by Councilman Racy, supported by Councilman Webster. Any questions, discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Item 4B is a request from the Wayne Main Street concerning the downtown scarecrow contest.
Move approval.
Support.
It's been moved by Councilman Racy, supported by Councilman Webster. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 4C is a request from the Wayne Main Street regarding improvements to Derby's Alley.
Move to approve.
Support.
It's been moved by Mayor Pro Tem Miller, supported by Councilman Webster. Are there any questions or discussions? Is anyone here from Main Street?
That's what I was looking for. Yeah, see.
Just so you know that there's two items that this resolution is for. They're going to be purchasing and installing 3 hitch-style bike racks in Derby's Alley, and then also there's going to be a bulletin board put up there that will be for outside use. It's specifically made for outside use. It'll be enclosed, and Main Street can post various, flyers and such of things and events that are going on in the community, and it can then be viewed by anyone walking through Derby's Alley. So those are the two items. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 4D was requested to be removed. So the next item is item 5, ordinances and amendments. Item 5A is the first reading of ordinance 2018-06. This is the rezoning of the Senior Alliance 5454 South Wayne Road, parcel 55-023-99-002000 from R1A Single Family Residential to PDD Planned Development District. And there are a number of people here representing this project itself, but I will, at first, I'm going to just go through the kind of a cursory overview of the project, and then Tamara Kiger from the Senior Alliance is going to introduce her team and kind of how it all came to fruition. And then I know that the Wallach Group is going to also then give us more of a demonstration and a short video regarding this project. But sort of housekeeping to talk about is that this actually, instead of seeing a site plan and anything like that, it's kind of a site plan and a rezoning all wrapped into one. Because it is a planned development district, in itself, the planned development district is the plan itself. So all of these plans that we see are actually recorded into the record and made reference to, so that going forward, this PDD really represents how this project will be built. The number of stories, the square footage, the parking, all of that is addressed in the plans themselves, and they become the codified ordinance of the planned development district. So just to kind of walk you through the site itself, and all of my communications do make reference to a 3.5 acre parcel, and that actually is going to grow to a 4.7, I think, is that correct? 4.7, and that is in order to meet the Wayne County stormwater requirements, they actually need a little more land because they need to create a pond. And so they're going to have to kind of extend it and go a little bit west. But just to kind of tell everyone where we're talking about, this is on Vinoy Road, south of Annapolis, and on the west side. The Senior Alliance is there, and it's kind of referred to as the county farm. There's a barn, the county extension services. The Senior Alliance bought it a couple years ago, and they're going to be making improvements and building a senior housing project there, kind of at this northeast corner. So Vinoy Road is here, and then this is the entrance into the current Senior Alliance, and they're going to be talking about this area right here. So this is the where the proposed building will go, and then from there, I kind of just want to talk a little bit about it, and then we can have them come up and tell you more about it than even I know. So this is a 69,700 square foot building, a 3-story building, and it's laid out here again on that northeast corner of the site. The building itself will house 70 apartments in there for seniors, and this is what the building will look like. So we've got all these elevations, and you can see it is brick to the first floor, and then it has many different facades and changes of each of these angles for that. They're calling it Atwood Gardens in reference to Atwood Park directly behind there. And then they also have a layout of each floor and how all of these units will be laid out, including the necessity for a kitchen. That kind of, as we've gone along, has changed the footprint again. There's changes going along all the time. But this is in reference to a rezoning. Also, the next ordinance will involve the pilot, the payment in lieu of taxes regarding the taxation at this location. And, but the staff did develop a list of conditions. It was presented as a public hearing for rezoning at the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission did recommend this to the City Council with 11 conditions of approval. So with that, I kind of want to turn it over to Tamara, and then she can add a lot more, and then we've also got a real neat video to show you two of the projects.
Good evening. I was here just recently to talk to you about the Senior Alliance. So for those that don't know us, we are an area agency on aging. We've been in business for over 40 years and a long-standing member of the Wayne community. In 2015, we purchased this property from Wayne County, and we moved in 2016 after we did extensive renovations and investment in the property. We receive over 40,000 calls a year at the Senior Alliance for information and assistance. The top two calls, requests that we receive are for transportation and housing. So there's a definite need for affordable housing, especially in the Wayne community. We love the Wayne community. We think it's a great community for seniors. One of the main advantages of this project is it's co-located next door to us, so we can readily offer our services to the residents that are living in the apartments. We set about trying to find a development partner over a year ago, and we met with lots of folks, gave lots of tours, and we're very excited that we found such a good development partner in Wallach Communities. When we first talked to them about our dreams for the campus and how we really wanted to fulfill these needs that we were learning about and seeing, right, and immediately their mission and our mission were in line. We went to their communities, we went to their properties and looked at them. We're exceedingly pleased with how well maintained they were, how happy the residents were that were living in those properties. So we believe we found a great partner. Wallach has been at this for a long time. They're very well thought of apartment senior living community developer. We've certainly had that experience working with them over the last year. So I hope that you'll find it as exciting as we do and see that it's really something that we believe will make a great contribution to your city. I'd like to introduce the other gentleman here from Wallach. We have Tim Sweeney, Joe Hall, Jake Gill, Tyler Ponder, Alan Cruz, I'm sorry, for Hennessy. Somewhere Bob Kirk is here from our team, and Bob, our architect. So we're all here. We're anxious to answer your questions and assure you that we're going to have a really good project. So thank you.
Tyler's going to come up next, or, oh no, right, okay, yeah, there you go.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, everybody. My name's Tim Sweeney, and I'm Senior Vice President of Development at Wallach Communities. As Tamara was kind enough to communicate together with the Senior Alliance, we're very interested and excited to share this opportunity with you, what we think is the first step of a multi-phase senior campus that we're hoping to develop here on the Senior Alliance's campus here in Wayne, Michigan. Very briefly, just to give you a quick overview of who Wallach is and what we do, so you understand, who are these people standing in front of you this evening. Our mission is very simple, but it's also very impactful, and that is opening doors to homes, opportunity, and hope. Wallach's been developing, constructing, and managing senior living communities for several decades, while creating and preserving affordable housing opportunities has been our core competency for over 50 years. At Wallach, we believe that there's so much more to affordable housing development than just the physical structure. Therefore, to truly meet the needs of our residents and, more importantly, the communities that we serve, we believe that we must think and act beyond the physical component of the building. So as such, to continue our sense of mission and enhance our practice of continually doing the right thing, we've become very motivated by a real desire to find a way to combine these two services into one, those services being senior living and affordable housing into affordable senior housing, thereby creating a product that we feel is not only unique and innovative, but also serves a very large and meaningful need, or a niche, if you will, in a market that quite honestly right now is not being effectively served. So with that, we are very excited to address your questions and to share our project concept with you. And I would like to turn it over to Joe Hall, who will start off the presentation. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Good evening, council members. We thank you for allowing us to be here tonight and to consider this phenomenal project. I just wanted to quickly bridge the gap from Tim to our colleague Tyler Ponder, who will be better explaining the very intricate details of the project. But I did want to express from a Wallach perspective how we got here and the exciting steps that it took to get here over the past 12 months. So if you'll bear with me. Again, there's been many parties that's been a part of this that's actually pushed the project forward to be able to be here today in front of you folks for this consideration. I just wanted to mention a few of those. If it wasn't for RDL Architects introducing us to the Senior Alliance over 12 months ago, we wouldn't be here. So we want to thank Bob and his team for introducing us to the Senior Alliance and such a phenomenal organization. In addition to that, we've also had the great opportunity as we become hopefully partners with the Senior Alliance to sit down with their staff and their board members to get a chance to collaborate and share visions and make sure that we're taking this project in the right direction. In addition to that, as Tamara had mentioned, the Senior Alliance also had the opportunity to come down to our senior living site that's a continuum of care in the Toledo, Ohio area, and that was wonderful to host them and for them to see a product that we already operate. In addition to that, we were humbled to be invited by MISTA to be one of the select developers to be able to sit in on the developer forum as they were crafting their new qualified allocation plan for the 2019-2020 year, for which we would hope to get funding for this project. We were one of the select group of developers to be able to sit in on that and provide commentary and to help to craft the QAP for it to be the best it can be for folks that need this type of housing. We were fortunate enough to be able to submit a couple of letters of recommendation for adjustments and things like that to make this project the best it can be for the Wayne community. So we were fortunate to be a part of that. We, in tandem with the Senior Alliance, have also been able to meet with MISTA itself, both in Lansing and on the Senior Alliance's campus, which is no small feat because it's not every day that the leadership of MISTA will come out to your site and be willing to be able to share in the vision that you have. So that was very exciting to be able to host them about a month and a half ago. Addition to that, obviously it takes a lot of folks to make projects like this work. Wallach, in tandem again with the Senior Alliance, was able to reach out to Wayne County to talk about home funds that might be available for the project. From that meeting, we were encouraged that we believe that we were able to help motivate Wayne County and see the viability of the project. From there, they were able to expedite the issuance of an RFP so that we could apply for home funds timely compared to our LIHTC application, which is October 1st. We're currently working on that application that's due August 27th. In addition to that, I commend the Senior Alliance for inviting out Plant Moran, which is an accounting firm that knows the low-income housing tax credit program well, so that they came out and presented to the Senior Alliance. So the Senior Alliance made sure that they understood the program that they're looking to work within and to understand the regulations and the compliance that comes along with that. So they really, truly did understand what they were trying to get into. And then also, it's been an enjoyable experience to actually also leverage existing relationships to put together the best professional services team that we could to be able to bring the best project to you folks. In that regard, again, as I mentioned earlier, we've got Kook Hirth here that helps us with the zoning to make sure we got the zoning correct. We've been working with ASTI and Hennessy Engineers as far as being able to bring the best local talent we can to this project. And then last but not least, we are also able to connect with Rochelle Linto, who is one of the premier LIHTC attorneys in the state, to make sure that we've got the best legal counsel we can to get this right. And then last but not least, I would be remiss if I didn't mention how enjoyable it has been to work with the City of Wayne staff. They have been phenomenal to work with us to be able to bring this project here. Have been wonderful. Each and every question we've had along the way, it's been a pleasure to work with the staff, so commend those folks. With that being said, I do want to just briefly again help give a timeline to the project, and then I'll hand it over to Tyler to talk about specifics. So as I just did mention, we will be submitting a LIHTC funding application to MISTA on October 1st. From there, MISTA does select the projects they do decide to fund. That selection typically happens in January of the following year, so that puts us into January 2019. If we are so fortunate, which we hope we will be, to be selected for funding, then we will push forward to get our financing agreements in place, get our plans finalized, work through our construction efforts to get everything closed. So towards the end of 2019, we'll be ready to start construction. We do anticipate that our construction time period for a facility like this is typically between 12 and 15 months. We certainly would shoot for the shorter time frame, but it typically does take that range of time. So from that range of time, then we would see us completing this facility around late 2020, early 2021. And from there, the exciting part happens is we get a chance to fill the building with the residents that need this housing. So we would expect our efforts to fill 70 units would take somewhere between 6 to 12 months. So that's hopefully a timeline that helps you folks better understand what we're trying to accomplish. And with that, I will turn it over to Tyler Ponder, our colleague, to give you a better sense of the project that's sitting in front of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe, and good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here to talk about this project. It's a fantastic opportunity I think we have in front of us. And just to kind of get us started in this piece, I'd like, Matt, if you could play the video for us.
Lisa, could you turn that TV out a little?
You're gonna have a hard time standing there.
Pardon me?
They're standing there, I can't.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Matt. And thank you, Alan and Hennessy Engineers, for putting that together for us. I think that does a phenomenal job of showing you exactly what's going to be built on this site. So what you've just seen is a 70-unit, 3-story congregate senior living affordable project. 56 of those 70 units will be 1-bedrooms. The remaining 14 will be 2-bedrooms. The 2-bedroom size of the units is approximately 900 square feet. And the 1-bedrooms are split between a more affordable assisted living style unit, which is about 560 square feet. It has a smaller kitchen and smaller appliances. The other 1-bedroom units, there are 36 of those 1-bedroom affordable assisted designed units. The remaining 21 bedrooms will be standard independent senior style designed units, regular kitchen, regular amenities. The idea behind our project is to have half or 36, approximately half, 36 of those one-bedroom units, of the total units, which are all one bedrooms, serving affordable assisted living seniors. So these are individuals that are living in the community and they have a My Choice waiver, or they qualify for a My Choice waiver that they can use to receive services. The fantastic part about what we're proposing is that they can get almost all of these services that they need on site. Individuals, through our partnership with TSA and their service providers that they coordinate with, are able to bring onto site services such as meal preparation, and that's 3 meals a day. For instance, wound care, diabetes monitoring, fall risk assessments, general education. So that's from a medical standpoint, but also such things such as social events, puzzles, activities. There's going to be a fitness room that will have available for some light exercise or yoga. We've also proposed in the interior of the building a courtyard with a gazebo. The TSA campus, as I'm sure you're all familiar with, is a fantastic spot. It has walking paths, there are ponds. There's a lot that seniors can do, not only on site at Atwood Gardens, but on the larger campus as well. So I'm going to step over here and just kind of guide you through some of these things that that will be a part of the site here. So I'm just going to pull this up. All of the light green, the mint color there, those are the individual residential units. We haven't distinguished here by color between 1 and 2 bedroom units, but they will be, as you can see, the majority of the space. The yellow is common area and circulation space. The orange up here are the office spaces, the staff room, the nursing room, which will contain, it's like a medical office light, if you will. It'll have a sink and an exam table, but it won't be fully equipped for, say, like a physician to come in and do any type of procedures. And then, of course, we have an activity room here in red, which I just touched on. The living room, which is going to connect directly to the courtyard with the gazebo. A dining room, which brings me to, I think, the crown jewel of this project, which is the commercial kitchen. We are proposing an 1,800 square foot commercial kitchen to be built as a part of this project, so that seniors, if they need it or if they desire to utilize those services, they can eat on site. They don't have to go off site. They don't have to worry about going to get groceries if they don't, want to. You have a big fridge. They don't have to because they don't necessarily need it. So. With that, we also have, again, the renderings from all sides. We chose fairly neutral colors. We think they fit well within the community. They don't stand out. They're not too bright, but they're also obviously very professional. And of course, we have an overlay here, which Matt alluded to kind of give everyone an idea of where exactly this project is going to be located. So it is on the TSA campus, which I believe everyone's familiar with. It's going to front Vinoy Road, and it's going to be directly adjacent to the Beaumont Hospital. We are not proposing a new curb cut. We don't anticipate very much traffic associated with this project. Seniors, in general, we found don't typically drive as much as the general population, and the services and meals that we'll have available on site, we feel like are going to cut down even more on those trips off site. And we're also working concurrently with SMART to get a bus stop. I believe it's on Vinoy Road, on Vinoy, to service both the TSA campus, including Atwood Gardens, as well as hopefully the hospital will be able to utilize that as well. I think am I missing anything? No? Okay, I guess we'll turn it back to you or questions.
Well, we would need to have a motion on the floor.
Yes.
Move to approve.
Support.
It's been moved by Mayor Pro Tem Miller, supported by Councilman Webster. And are there any questions or discussion from members of council?
I do have a question.
Okay, Councilman Webster?
So we're talking about having affordable homes here. What's considered affordable?
So under this model that we're proposing here, our goal was to provide a quality housing option for the widest array of senior households as we possibly can. So with that said, under the financing program that we're using through MISHDA, which is the Housing Tax Credit Program, we are restricting 17% of the units, which is 12 units, to senior individuals with living on fixed incomes that are at or below 30% of the area median income. To offset that, we're also able to provide housing to senior households with incomes at or below 80% of the area median income. So with that, we are going to be able to target pretty much any household income size that you could think of.
Any other questions? With regards to that, the income levels, are those, will then the rent be dependent on what their income level is? Or is it going to be the same rent for a one-bedroom, the same rent for a two-bedroom, the same rent for assisted?
No, so the rents are set at a percentage of the income. So for example, the 30% unit, or the units that we're setting aside at 30% of area median income, those individuals will pay approximately $330 for a one-bedroom. Joe, remind me on the two-bedroom, about $450. And on the other side of the spectrum, you have maximum rents for a one-bedroom of $850, I believe, and to $1,000 for a two-bedroom unit.
I'm sorry, what was that, the last one?
$1,000 for a two-bedroom unit, up to a maximum of.
And the percentage of occupants of the unit would be how many? You were saying 56%?
No, so there would be.
I'm sorry, not 56%, but you gave a figure out of the percentages.
Yeah, there's 17% of the total units, or 12 units in total,
Yes.
will be rent and income restricted at 30% AMI level. And those are the individuals that will qualify for the My Choice vouchers for the assisted living services.
Okay.
And then on the other spectrum, you have the 80% level at the same percentage.
Okay.
So you're essentially running a 50-50 split. And what I mean by 50-50 split is 50% of your units are going to be targeted to senior households that are living on fixed incomes and can't afford the services that they need to have a quality of life, but yet it's too expensive to put them in a skilled nursing home. So this provides them with a more affordable opportunity for them to enhance the quality of their life. And on the other side, you have independent living targeting higher income senior households that will, at some point in their life, may need access to those services on a full-term basis. But in the interim, they will have the availability of those services via like a la carte type menu, where those services are not required, but they're optional. And those individuals at the higher income levels can afford to cover the payment of those services privately without the assistance of the My Choice waiver.
Okay.
Okay. All right, then, any other questions?
I have one more.
Yes.
Are there going to be any restrictions in terms of household size? So say there's two people in the house, does that factor in, or is this just strictly about income?
No, household occupancy rules does fall to the jurisdiction, so we have to follow Wayne's occupancy rules. So you couldn't have, 3 people living in a one-bedroom unit or 5 people living in a two-bedroom unit.
Okay. Okay.
And what our portfolio typically shows, we have over 200 properties across 9 states, which total over 12,000 units. What we found in our senior portfolio is we have our household to unit ratio is 1.03 persons. So what that means is out of 600 age-restricted senior units, we have 19 of those units have multiple occupants. So that could be a husband and a wife, it could be a resident and a caretaker, somebody's significant other, what have you. It's a very, very small percentage. Our average resident is a 73-year-old widow.
Okay.
Mayor,
Yes.
what are some of the other communities that was mentioned earlier that have these facilities already in place?
Sure, we have several of those. We have 2 in Toledo. They're Oakwood or Oakleaf Toledo. We actually just finished another assisted living facility in Columbus, Ohio. That one is the Ashford at Broad. That opened up in 2015. It's a 124-unit assisted living facility. We have another one down in Cincinnati. That is the Ashford at Mount Washington. That one is 114 units assisted living. We also have what's called our memory care product as well. That one is located in Toledo, so that's where the campus concept really came to fruition. Was we have memory care, assisted living, and we're actually in the process of building independent living on that same site as well. So you'll have 3 different areas of aging in place, all in one location.
I do have one question. You have been in business, you said, for decades.
Yes, over 50 years.
Okay. All of these units that you first built way back when, do you still manage those units?
Yes. Wallach's reputation nationally, we are known as long-term owners. We do not build, we're not a turnkey developer, meaning where we build it and leave. When we build something, you're in partnership with us forever. Matter of fact, one of our largest pieces of our business model now is taking those assets that are 30, 40, almost 50 years old and trying to recapitalize those and reposition those both from a physical standpoint, but also financially as well.
Okay. Are there any plans in the future of possibly adding more, as you said, to the campus with maybe independent living type units and such as after this one?
Absolutely. And I think that question is really what brought our 2 organizations together, was that vision to create not just a multi-phase, but a true senior campus where you would have independent living, you'd have assisted living, memory care services, perhaps an intergenerational daycare facility. This is a long-term vision, and this is just the first step of what we hope will be several more phases to come.
Okay.
Mayor,
Yes.
So with that question then, is there enough space on this property to provide those additional services in the future?
We believe so. Obviously,
Okay.
it's all,
Okay.
depending on.
How many acres is that?
There's just under 33, I believe
33?
it's
That's what I
32.7
thought.
acres.
I have to ask about the retention ponds. Are they going to be aesthetically pleasing? Are they going to be fenced off? What's that all about?
Sure. We're actually just working on the detention pond earlier today, and we have a meeting with the county on Monday. If you don't mind, if I can invite
Please.
Alan up here, who's the professional engineer. He can speak to that better than I can.
Hi, I'm Alan Cruz from Hennessy Engineers. So we've designed many stormwater management systems that adhere to Wayne County standards. So this pond is going to have a permanent water pool that's 4 feet deep. That's the county standard. They require a permanent water pool. And it's going to be 6-on-1 side slopes. So it's going to be a very shallow side slope. So it's not going to be a steep drop off. So a fence will not be required by county standards. And we've discouraged fences. We want to design it as an aesthetic feature. So that's our goal, and we have a meeting with the county. I have all the calculations ready, a layout, and I'm going to present that to Ali Al-Jawad on Monday.
Thank you.
In regards to those retention ponds, will you have like some type of a water feature in them to keep the water moving around and such, or will they just be?
Well, it depends on the size. Because this development doesn't require a huge pond, we may not, it may not be practical to have an aeration for a small body of water.
Okay.
But you're right, if it's a huge pond, then you almost need an aeration fountain.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So we'll see on that.
Okay.
Yep.
Any other questions? No? Okay. Does anyone in the audience have a question? Yes, Mr. Clearman. If you could come forward, please.
Eric Clearman, Winifred Street. I couldn't help but notice on the blueprint, there are only 2 bathrooms on the first floor between the kitchen activity area and the medical area. Also, the elevator is clean at the opposite corner from the front entrance. So it's going to make the seniors walk the maximum distance to get to an elevator, then if they're on that side of the building, walk the maximum distance back when they're at the second or third floor. There's also 80-some parking spots for a building that's supposed to house 80 or 84 people. It doesn't feel like it's supposed to be a senior living community. It seems like a regular living community.
Okay.
So
Okay. All right.
any chance
Thank
the plans are going to be altered to accommodate seniors? Or is this just a cookie cutter plan?
Well, according to what they've said, all their other facilities have seniors in them.
Right, but
And
two
it
bathrooms
is
just seems
assisted.
way too few.
Pardon me?
Two
Oh,
bathrooms just seems like way too few.
We actually have 2 elevators proposed in different locations within the building, to minimize distance between some of the amenities like the commercial kitchen and also the units themselves. We do have bathrooms on the first floor for the individuals that need to use the bathroom if they can't get back to their unit. Obviously, all of the units will have their own full bathrooms with a shower and a toilet. And the parking, if we're trying to line up the parking, and we did, I think, do a very good job lining up with the existing parking that TSA has on their campus. If for some reason there is, say, an event that we're hosting, perhaps like the open house event, once we finally do the grand opening, that we can use those extra overflow spaces without trying to over-design or overbuild to begin with, and we end up with kind of a mall concept where at Christmas, all the spots are full, but 364 days out of the year, the parking lots are only a third.
yeah, there is a huge parking lot already there. No, you don't. You don't. Right. Okay. All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you. Okay. If there's no further questions, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. We look forward to welcoming you to the community. I think this is needed. I do agree. Thank you very much.
And in conjunction with item 5A is now item 5B. This is the first revised 5B, which is the first reading of ordinance 2018-07. This would be the pilot program for Atwood Gardens, pilot meaning payment in lieu of taxes.
All right. Okay.
Support.
It's been moved by Councilman Racy and supported by Councilman Webster. Is there any discussion or questions on it?
I do have some
Okay.
concerns. I do appreciate the effort that has been made here with this project. My concern is that, this community is trying to recover financially, and we're trying to restore and increase our tax base to provide for the current residents that are low income and medium income here for basic services and better quality of life as it is. It makes it very challenging and difficult to approve a tax abatement because of that. And I need to express that concern to you all. Why, this is a teeter for me, okay? It's hard. It's a hard pressed feeling to have, but I just want to express that concern. Okay, I want you to understand, by doing this, the sacrifice we're making to create this development. Another thing that comes to my mind is that when this abatement does become absolved, and it says up to 16 years, is there a variable between, let's say, 10, 16 years that we will start receiving taxes from the property? And my other question is, what will the value of this property be in 16 years? And approximately how much would we be receiving at that point? Just so we have some idea what our future looks like on this project.
I actually have all those answers for you
And I
tonight.
appreciate that so
anticipated
much
that you'd have
to
that
provide.
question. I did work with our city assessor, and based on the figures of what this property would be assessed at, which would be 3.5 million as true cash value, the taxable value would be $1.7 million. If you look at our approximate millage rate of 70 per thousand, you're looking at $122,500 a year in taxes. The city's portion of that, so you have to take into account everybody else's, is $42,000 a year. Based on the numbers that they've given us, as opposed to going with net operating income, where they would have the ability to subtract more things out of their income from their rents. They've chosen to give us a higher return on the investment by going with the tax shelter, net, help me. I lost it. Annual shelter rates, thank you. I lost it on my paper. So basically what will happen is, based on the numbers, what they're figuring, for this investment, we're going to be less $10,400 a year. That's the loss to the city, $10,000 a year. When you ask what's going to happen up to 15 years, it's not up to 15 years. This is a 16-year abatement.
Okay.
There will be no change other than the fluctuation of if they have more income, we get more income. At the end of the 16 years, the property will be looked at, it'll be assessed, and they will pay the full tax amount on that building at that time. So again, you're losing $10,400 a year. However, I would like, and this would like to put it to you this way, and they will all agree, without this tax abatement in place, this project cannot happen. Not that they are going to threaten to not do it. It cannot happen because part of the MSHDA tax credits are that they do have a tax abatement in place. And this was the tax abatement that was chosen that would have the least impact on the city's finances. And I can answer any other questions.
Maybe Lori, could you just add that the current tax rate at the Senior Alliance is 0?
Oh, very good point, Matt. Thank you. You are collecting 0 tax dollars on that property currently. So any new development that comes in there, whether it's a pilot or it's not, that's all new tax revenue to the city of Wayne.
I appreciate those answers.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you. Okay.
Lori, can I clarify just one piece?
Absolutely.
Okay. So, again, folks, thank you for accommodating me for just a moment. As Lori mentioned, the pilot program to MSHDA is invaluable for the housing that they are financing. So in that regard, to further elaborate on what Lori says, they put it in their scoring process that they give valuable points to secure the pilot. I don't know the exact answer, but I believe that most every project that comes in does come in with a pilot if funded with credits. Otherwise, the scoring component of the competitive process is if you don't come in with the 5 pilot points, typically your project will not get funded. It's that close. And the reason also, I think the economic reason behind the pilot is, as we've discussed today, is the projects that we have come with income restrictions. Therefore, we have rent restrictions that we're working against that market rate communities don't work against. So the financial structure of what we have here, and to be able to build something this beautiful, really doesn't allow for us to be able to pay full value of taxes. So we do appreciate the city's position, absolutely, and we do appreciate your consideration for the pilot. Thank you.
I would just like to say that having been up in Lansing and talked to MSHDA and like the strategic fund and such, this is basically the city's match for the funding. We don't have dollars to give you to match, but this is our way of providing our match to some extent by doing the pilot program for you.
Yeah, absolutely. We certainly understand you folks do not have to approve the pilot, so your consideration of it is greatly appreciated.
Yeah. Okay, then. And I'd also like to just say that Tamara has worked very hard, I know, in this scoring. One of the questions is transportation availability, so she has been working very diligently with SMART to get that, yes. Yep, and so that is great. So that is definitely another plus point for us with this application to MSHDA. So.
Absolutely. Without those 5 points, I would be skeptical that we would get funded. So they're absolutely invaluable.
Okay. All right, then. It's been moved and supported. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Congratulations.
More.
The next item is a flyer from Wayne Historical Society regarding the 140th birthday celebration. And I believe Ann and John are here. All right, thank you.
Hi, Ann Zimmerman from the Wayne Historical Society and John Mills, and we're also with the Wayne Historical Commission. But we are having a birthday party Sunday. The museum will be opened from 1 to 5. We're going to have cake from Baker's Acre and ice cream. We're celebrating the 140th birthday of the original building that is the museum, the square brick building. So please, we want the whole city to come and the old village hall, the old city hall, the old Chamber of Commerce, junior achievement, Army
Police and
recruiting, police and fire. So please help us celebrate this proud building. We have all building going on. What a nice compliment to having all the seniors on Vinoy Road. We want to keep this museum alive. You can come and visit the museum. It'll be a Sunday. Come on down, enjoy it. But it's also our kickoff to
our sesquicentennial celebration of the city of Wayne, having become a village originally and then a city in 1960. We will be celebrating our 150th year as a political entity of Wayne in 2019.
So if you have ideas, come on down Sunday. Let's talk about how we can celebrate. What are we going to do next year to make this an important event? So come down Sunday. Let's talk about it. We could,
Have cake and ice cream for the
and
birthday party for the museum.
it'll be a nice Sunday. But also next month, our program is going to be the repeat of Tyler Mull's program on the urban renewal. So I think that's September, the second Thursday in September. So mark that date because he did a really good job, and it's a good program. So that's next September meeting, the 13th. Okay. Any questions?
I do have one question. The flyer that we have says the birthday celebration is from 3 to 5
Yeah, the
p.m.
museum is open 1 to 5.
Okay.
The cake and ice cream will be served at 3.
At 3,
At
okay.
3 o'clock.
Okay.
Because I think there was a 1 to 3 time too. Mrs. Holly sent out a letter informing the businesses in different groups in Wayne about the sesquicentennial. So I think that time was 1 to 3, but come on down 1 to 3. We'll serve the cake at 3 o'clock, and you can stay till 5 and enjoy the museum. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Ann.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes,
one thing.
okay.
I just wanted to tell you both that, just to pass along, the museum looks really nice. I mean, I keep seeing improvements, and it's looking really
That's
well.
our volunteers, Tyler Mall and the volunteers.
Yes.
Thank you for
Thank you.
recognizing it, John.
The next item is item 6B, the memo from the finance director regarding the investment report.
Any questions? Wish of council?
Receive and file.
Okay.
Item 7 are general items for consideration. Item 7A is to approve the sale of 3857 Hannon to FPJ Investments LLC in the amount of $9,806.58.
Move approval.
Support.
It's been moved by Councilman Racy, supported by Councilman Webster. Are there any questions, concerns? No? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Item 7B is to approve the sale of 4304 Second Street to HP Snap Investments in the amount of $5,915.80.
Move approval.
Support.
It's been moved by Councilman Webster, supported by Councilman Racy. Any questions, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 7C is to approve the sale of the 2017 right of first refusal properties.
Move to approve.
Been moved by Councilman Racy, supported by Mayor Pro Tem Miller. Is there any discussions, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, item 7D is to approve the purchase agreement for the sale of a portion of John Hicks Road.
Move to approve.
Support.
Been moved by Mayor Pro Tem Miller, supported by Councilman Webster. Could you just explain this a little bit?
Okay. Yes. This is a little different for us to be reviewing and selling. So What this is actually part of the vacated John Hicks Road south of Maple. When Ground Effects came before us to build the factory over there next to the Ford plant, John Hicks Road actually continues south of Maple, not as an improved road, but on the plats as an improved road. And from that point, they needed to vacate so that they have a direct connection from Ford Motor Company to Ground Effects so that they're not going out on a city street. They're going to have a direct connection from the factory over to Ground Effects and back. That did necessitate actually the vacation of John Hicks Road. Usually what occurs in a vacation is that when a road or alley is vacated, it is split down the middle and half goes to the adjacent properties to, in this case, the west, half goes to the east. Well, the half that would go to the east is Ford Motor Company. Ford Motor Company is actually not part of a platted parcel of land. It's actually a meets and bounds description. It isn't Lot 4 of Gersting subdivision or anything like that. So when you divide something like that and it's on the edge of a subdivision, it does not automatically become part of Ford Motor Company's property. It actually, in essence, left a 30-foot strip of land that is kind of owned by the city then because it is the city right-of-way. So to accommodate that, I've worked with Burton Katzman, Conrad Shuey is here in the back, to get together a proposal to actually sell this strip of land, it's a 30-foot wide strip, to Burton Katzman, BKG Group, that is developing all of the Ground Effects property, included all in as one parcel, and it will be contiguous, and then, of course, they'll be able to operate without crossing over our land. And our proposal was for $1. Usually when we vacate streets or alleys, we donate that to each parcel. This one, we do actually have to have a title commitment. All of that will be done. They will be paying the closing costs, but they will be purchasing this for $1 to incorporate in with Ground Effects property, which will then become taxable.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right.
We have to vote on it?
Yes. Okay, any questions after that? No? All right. It's been moved by Mayor Pro Tem Miller, supported by Councilman Webster. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Item 7E is to approve an agreement between the City of Wayne and Wayne County for the park millage funding allocation of $11,302.
Move approval.
Support.
It's been moved by Councilman Racy, supported by Councilman Webster. Are there any questions, discussion? Do we have any idea what the total amount of this grant was that we received? Oh, no, that's okay.
I don't know the amount.
Do we
I
have-
have the agreement in front of me. I see if I can maybe help that.
I don't know.
It's coming right there.
Oh, here's Ed.
All right, thank you.
I just wanted to know what the total amount of the millage or the, that we were getting, and we're using only 11,000 of it for this, or?
No, the total amount of the millage, I believe, what was it on the paper that I don't have?
11,000.
It says 11, that was it?
Right, and the
Okay.
total cost
$11.
of the pavilion project was like, I think the estimate we had from the contractor was like 12,000 something.
Okay.
So there was $1,000 that would come out of the general fund to finish off that portion of it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for working on it.
That's to fix, pardon me,
Yeah.
that's to fix re-roof 7 pavilions throughout the park system, correct?
6 pavilions.
6?
Right, you approved it. I didn't realize I had to have, because there's two, whenever you have something like that, you have to have 2 separate contracts going.
Gotcha.
So you approved last council meeting, I believe it was, just to have the contractor do that work. And then I was just informed as far as, it was like I had to have this because we needed the resolution number of the
Okay.
county, approving that dollar amount for us.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Mr. Queen.
You're welcome.
Any other questions, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Next item is item 7F. Accept a grant from the Department of Homeland Security Assistance to Firefighters in the amount of $225,001 with a $10,714 match to be paid through the Fire Department Materials and Supplies budget. This grant will be used to purchase a F-450 Marquee ambulance.
Move approval.
Support.
It's been moved by Councilman Racy, supported by Councilman Webster. Are there any questions? No? Okay.
Mayor Oak?
Yes.
Can possibly the city managers explain to us where the $10,714 came from?
That's going to come from the fire budget.
Okay.
Mayor?
Yes.
I just want to thank everybody involved in this. This is amazing to be able to get 2 ambulances and only have to pay $10,000 out of our community. That's just absolutely amazing. Good job for everybody that was involved in that. Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 7G is to approve a resolution to establish a trust for pre-funding our other post-employment benefits OPEB liability.
Move to approve.
Support.
It's been moved by Mayor Pro Tem Miller, supported by Councilman Webster. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 7H is to approve the Protecting Local Government Retirement and Benefits Act Corrective Action Plan, Defined Pension Retirement Systems, Form 5598.
Move to approve.
Support.
It's been moved by Mayor Pro Tem Miller, supported by Councilman Webster. Any questions, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Item 7I is approve the transfer of fiscal year 2017-18 Community Development Block Grant funds for code enforcement to demolition in the amount of $21,221.12.
Wish of council?
Move to approve.
It's been
Support.
moved by Councilman Miller, supported by Councilman Webster. Any questions, discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next item is item 7J, approve budget amendment 2019-1.
Move approval.
Support.
It's been moved by Councilman Racy, supported by Councilman Webster. And will this be all of the adjustments for 17, 18?
This is for fiscal year 19.
This is for 19? Okay, all right. Okay. And this will
Adding
be,
in the ambulances
Okay.
and moving Lori's demolition funds.
Okay.
Things that we just
so
approved.
this just all takes care of what we've just recently done? Okay. All right, thank you very much, Katie.
Yeah.
It's been moved by, again,
Councilman Racy.
Councilman Racy and supported by Councilman Webster. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 7K is approve a letter of agreement with the Wayne Professional Firefighters Association, Local 1620, regarding fiscal year 18-19 personal business leave.
Wish of council?
Move to approve.
Support.
It's been moved by Mayor Pro Tem Miller, supported by Councilman Webster. Any questions or discussion? No? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Added item 7L is to accept the resignation of Councilman Thomas E. Porter effective August 20th, 2018.
Wish of council?
Move approval.
Support.
It's been moved by Councilman Gabriel, supported by Councilman Webster. Any discussion? Yes. You certainly can. You certainly can.
On a lighter note, to start off, I hope you don't mind my relaxed attire this evening. When this original report became public, I felt rather disturbed that one of my colleagues or someone sitting up on that raised platform had so little thought for our city that they released it. And then this afternoon, another letter came in, and it wasn't but minutes. It was on Facebook. Public again. This is confidential. Somebody up there don't understand the word confidential. I'm promising, no, even if the chief's sitting back, I'm threatening you. If I find out who made those public, I will splash it all over the world. I promise you. This has affected me greatly. So I just want to read one little piece of paper and then I'll go. State of Michigan, County of Wayne, City of Wayne. I, please insert your name, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Michigan, and the Charter of the City of Wayne, and that I will perform my duties as a city councilman to the best of my ability, so help me God. I think each one of you have one of those in your folder. You should have. You had to sign it. So how many of you don't believe in God? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilman Porter. I appreciate all that you've done. I know it's been a really tough, very tough last 3 years, but I appreciate it.
That's what we signed up for.
Yep, it is. All right, there's been a motion by Councilman Gabriel, supported by Councilman Webster. What is the wish of council? All in favor?
Aye.
No.
No. No.
No, no.
No.
Okay,
Come on back.
motion fails.
I will take it under advisement. I will speak with my family,
Okay,
do some soul searching before I sit back up there.
okay. Thank you.
I'd like to say something.
3 minutes.
I agree with Councilman Porter. This is outrageous that this stuff was leaked. I do not think the right councilman is resigned
Madam
tonight.
Mayor, although it might be valuable information,
It's absolutely, you know,
Please, gentlemen,
just a
please.
point of order.
Yes.
The motion has been failed. The motion's
Please,
off the
please.
table. So discussion should end.
Point of order, I have to do a roll call vote.
Yes.
Okay. There's been a request for a point of order. Roll call vote, please, which will end discussion.
Madam Mayor, if I may, ask a reference to city clerk. If there's no motion, is there time, or is there room for discussion?
There is a motion for,
For a
there is
point
a
of
motion
order.
for,
Prior to my point of order, or point of order
yes.
request?
We had a motion to accept the resignation, which was denied.
And then
And
it
then
closes the motion, correct?
we voted on it, yes.
So therefore, we would need another motion for discussion. Well, you requested a point of order
A point of order does not need a support or discussion.
No, I understand that.
Oh.
I'm talking, the reason for my point of order is because we are following, or continuing with discussion
Oh,
after the
gotcha.
motion was
Yep.
ended.
And we had a vote already on it.
Correct.
Okay.
So that was the only reason why I was saying point of order, because we unfortunately were not in order.
Okay. All right.
And correct me if I'm wrong.
No. Okay.
Okay. So therefore, do we need a motion for point of order?
You did make that?
You did make
Have
that. You said.
I didn't
you-
make a
you
motion,
called-
though.
No, you called for a point of order. That's all you have to do.
But we're not in a position of discussion, so how are we going to be ending a discussion? I believe point of order and ending a discussion would be if we're in the middle of a motion. For example, we motion to approve it, Tom Porter speaks. Before we make a vote, there's further communication or discussion, and then point of order from there would require the vote to end discussion No, that's
No.
that's calling the vote.
Okay.
So that's different. A
So if
point of order.
someone's out of order, then it requires a vote of council?
I think we should
Yes.
let our city clerk finish answering the question.
The point of order does require an affirmative vote by the council to either stop the discussion. If it does fail, the discussion can go forward.
Okay. So you can have discussion in between motions as you see fit? Okay.
Well, he was,
Fair enough.
the mayor did give the floor to Councilman Racy.
Yes.
Sure. Fair enough. I
Okay.
withdraw my motion,
Okay. All right.
I guess.
So
I
I can-
withdraw my point of order.
Thank you.
So I can continue now? Thank you.
And please, respectfully.
I'm
I
very
just-
angry.
Respectfully, please.
I haven't been very respectful. I've been disrespected already. I am very upset about this. I believe that the council should invoke 7.9 for an investigation on who did this, and I would like to see the entire council take lie detectors. I will be the first in line to see what. It would be very inexpensive to do that. I'll take a lie detector because I didn't do it. And I think that the integrity of our entire community has been breached by somebody that's sitting up here, and that is not cool. And should that person's conscious, they should step down tonight. Thank you.
Okay, next item on the agenda, please.
Is item 7M, approve a payment, and this is added item 7N, approve a payment to International Controls and Equipment of $3,695 on an emergency basis to repair the automatic gate at the police station to be paid from the police department repairs and maintenance budget.
Move to approve.
Support.
It's been moved by Mayor Pro Tem Miller, supported by Councilman Webster. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next item is item 8, administration reports.
Through the chair.
City
I'm
Manager.
going to give my time to Nancy Wojcicki tonight. She has quite a few items that she wanted to present regarding the senior services.
Okay.
Thank you, Nancy. Yeah, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, Council, and members of the audience. For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Nancy Wojcicki Knoll. I'm your Senior Services Director. And I have some programs that I would like to make sure everybody's aware of. On Thursday, September 6th, AARP is offering a free Android smartphone workshop. This gives people a chance to attend a hands-on technology workshop. You'll learn about how to get the most from your mobile device, and it is specifically towards Androids. They will provide you the phones for you to be able to practice and use, them while you're doing the class. The sign-up is limited, so you do need to give them a call. They're doing 2 sessions, and each session has 2 parts. First one is Intro to Androids. The second part is Beyond the Basics. So if you want to join any of that, I do have flyers out there, but you would have to call 800-213-4587, or you can register online at aarp.cvent.com/TEKDETR. If you need and you're not sure, you can call me at the office at 721-7460. Again, like I said, one of the classes will start at 10, and then the next session will start right after that. And then the second group sessions will start at 2:30, and with the second parts going on after that. The second thing I'd like to make sure I tell you about is we always offer Ask an Attorney. This is also a free chance for people who have questions, need advice, do not have access to an attorney, cannot afford an attorney. They're about a 15-minute free consultation. You do have to do it by appointment. It is bi-monthly, every third Thursday. You do have to call my office for an appointment. The next one is Thursday, September 6th. So again, I'll give you my number at the end. Tai Chi is coming back September 11th. It's a 10-week session. It runs 10 weeks for $65, and it's starting September 11th. And I tell people this all the time. When I went back to school And they said if you could only offer one class for your seniors, this is it. It helps with your memory, helps with your balance, helps with your breathing. It's the best thing you can try. It's slow motion. People don't think that is helping you, but it truly is. It's harder to move slow than it is to move fast. So if you're interested in that, we have 2 sessions as well. One is for beginners or novice, and then we have a continuing advanced class. So call my office for that. I'm working with the Kidney Foundation and also Beaumont Hospital to offer Cooking Matters for diabetes. This is an absolutely great class. It's 6 weeks. It is free. They do ask that you either be pre-type 2 diabetes or already have diabetes, or you're a caregiver of someone who is diabetic. This is a hands-on. They educate you towards the end of the evening. You actually all pitch in and make a recipe. At the end of that workshop, that date, they give you all the food you need to take home to again make that dish on your own. After you've attended a few sessions, you get a cookbook that goes with it. But out of the 6 weeks, you get free food every single night when you take home to do the class. So it is invaluable. I took the class. They have one that is for diabetics and one that is not. Right now, we're offering the diabetic class, so please don't miss out on that. The other last class I'm offering is called the Smart Driver Tech, and this is to educate people about the technology that you now find in your vehicles. I know when you go lease a car, buy a car, they give you like a quick 5-minute, 10-minute rundown. This is to put you in a more relaxed position where you will learn all about the different things that help make your car safer. It also allows people who, as they age, can still drive and feel comfortable with their aging. And then I have good news. I do want to announce this year is the 24th year of our Diamond of the Community. Our winner this year, our recipient, is Mrs. Pat Hartford. The date that this will take place, we will honor her with a dinner on September 18th at 6 o'clock. Tickets will go on sale within the next week. You'll be able to buy them either here at City Hall, through my office, which is located in the Hype Recreation Center. After dinner, we come here, where she is presented with the city resolution by the mayor and council. I will give you a list at that time of all the great things Pat does to help make this a great community to live in. And at that, unless you have any questions, I'm good. I just want to remind you, my office is very limited hours in the Hype Recreation Center. You can reach me at 721-7460. Please, please leave a message. I will get back with you. People will call, and I may be in the restroom, I may be helping somebody, I may be off. So leave me a message, I'll get back with you as soon as I can.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions? If not, thank you for your time, and I hope everybody I will see at some of the events. So, thank you.
Okay. Is there anything else?
No, ma'am.
Lisa? No? Okay, thank you.
Next item are citizens' comments or requests on items not on the agenda. Citizens are to limit their comments or requests to 3 minutes. The City Council asks that if you do have a question or concern, to bring it to the attention of the appropriate departments whenever possible. If you feel that the matter has not been resolved satisfactorily, you are encouraged to bring it to the attention of the city manager, and if still not resolved satisfactorily, to the mayor and the city council. The mayor, the city council, and the department heads may not respond to the questions at the meeting, but will respond by the next city council meeting or as soon as possible once they have looked into the matter.
Anyone who wishes, yes.
Robert Smith, Wayne Towers. It come to my attention last week that somebody is, I've been really upset all week long. I heard that someone's trying to go after Lisa's job. I'm here to say that I think, I've been in this city for 3 years. I think she's doing an awesome job. And all I got to say is people who don't like what she does needs to get up, walk out, and don't come back. That's what I got to say.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Amos.
Madam Mayor, Council, my name is Vern Amos, and I live on Stellwagen. The question I have, and it probably will go to the city attorney or back to the building and engineering department. I've asked this of several departments. Years ago, when I bought my property in Wayne, the cyclone fencing around my yard was purchased and put up by the previous owner. At that time, I was told as a new owner that that fence belonged to me, that they had purchased it. It was mine now that I was purchasing the house. The neighbors did not contribute to the purchase price of having the fence put up. Therefore, they could not attach anything to that unless they agreed to purchase half of the expense. That was never done. Since then, in looking at my yard and my lot, there are duplicate fence posts in the back where neighbors didn't want to split the cost of the fence going across the back of my lot. So my question is, on these people that didn't or haven't, that have moved in since, how can they legally put a gate on my fence? And I've been told in the past year that we no longer go by that, and then somebody else told me that that was never a rule to begin with. It's, excuse me, it's very disturbing because a lot of the properties on my street are rental properties, and one, I don't get along with them. Two, they don't maintain their properties, and it's just becoming ridiculous. So I would appreciate all the help I could get. Thank you.
Okay. Could I ask that you have Mike and Brita work on that if possible?
Probably a Mike question.
Okay. Yes. Yes, sir.
Hello, and thank you for letting me up here today. My name is Alan Bernard. I live on Carnegie Street in the city. I moved here about 3 years ago. The first thing I'd like to do is thank Lieutenant Strong and the Chief of Police, along with the City Council and the Department of Public Works. When my boy and I first moved in, I requested a handicapped person in area sign. Not only did I get one, I got two. Thank you for your quick action. I appreciate it. And by the way, you managed to beat the city of Westland by about 7 months when they were tasked with the same thing 12 years ago. So thank you very much. I come today before you with a few of my neighbors and landlords from my block to discuss an issue that's plagued our block for the 3 years that I've lived here and longer for those who've lived there longer. The problem is 4344 Carnegie. It's been that house with visits from EMS, police, Wayne County Sheriff, Michigan State Police, CPS, and visits from an alphabet of agencies, almost more than 2 or 3 times apiece. So you can guess the joy in the hood when the person who lived there finally moved out. However, that joy was short-lived. Soon the same pattern began to appear. People in cars, all hours of the day and night, in the driveway, out in front, running them between the houses, loud. And I'm ashamed to admit that I was willing to do something I don't normally do, is prejudge somebody before knowing what the whole story is. When I found out that tenants who lived there had rented it from the previous guy, I knew that there was going to be a whole list of problems going on. You remember the guy, the EMS, CPS, Michigan State Police, sheriffs, everybody. Well, you can imagine everybody's surprise when we found out the home that was owned by this person turns out to be owned by a dead man, and it never went to probate. The city is now trying to force probate so that we can get an owner for this house. Unfortunately, in between there, we've got some people who moved in. For lack of a better word, yes, squatters. I felt bad for him. The guy who left him jammed up. No water turned on. The AC's broke. The heater doesn't work, which explains why they were all out in the driveway. They were trying to stay warm during the winter. But unfortunately, soon trash started to pile up, followed by the rats, raccoons, possums, mice, skunks, and other vermin that have now crossed over into everybody's backyard. You have 6 to 12 adults living in the house at any given time, 3 kids, 3 dogs, and living in conditions like that.
Mr. Bernard, this is the 3-minute mark. Please end your comments soon.
All right. What we're trying to do is get somebody to come on over and get these people out of the neighborhood. It's not safe for the children. It's not safe for anybody in there. It's caused more problems than it's worth. There's animosity between the current resident and the ordinance department and all of the neighbors who are here tonight.
Okay.
I'm sure if they come up, you will get an earful. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Bernard. Would the city manager please follow up with Mr. Byton and even the fire department to see, and the police department, what's happening there?
We've been working on this.
Okay.
I think he's prepared to talk to them if they want to talk in the hall.
I'm talking to the
Mayor,
city
if-
manager,
if-
please.
Mayor,
Yes.
if I can speak to that
Yes.
a little bit.
I agree, yeah.
If I may, we're very aware of the property. As you may or may not be aware, this is a private property, so private property interests are handled generally by the property owner, as the city's not the property owner. So the city's in a position where all we can do are enforce the ordinances that we have on the books, i.e. blight ordinances, i.e. requirements that their animals be licensed, requirements that they have no more than 2 dogs in the home, because only 2 dogs are permitted in your home in the city of Wayne, both of which must be licensed. At this time, it's my understanding, working in conjunction with ordinance, and you speak with ordinance, I get text messages from Brandon Braun every day about this house. So I'm very aware of it. I've advised Brandon at this time, and it's my understanding that building department has tagged the property as uninhabitable. It's my understanding that the water has been turned off to the property, and the occupants continue to turn the water back on. So at this time, it's been tagged uninhabitable, and at this time, to continue to remain in the property and to reside there is considered a misdemeanor violation under our ordinances. It's my understanding that the police were out at the location yesterday. So, that tells you how much I know about what's going on in this city. I know a lot of what's going on at that property. So moving forward, we will be using the records that we've compiled with our police department agency and issuing misdemeanor citations to anyone who's been housed at that property in the last month, 30 days. We'll be looking back and determining their identity, their date of birth, and issuing them citations to appear in court. At that time, the judge has jurisdiction if she finds that they're living in the property in violation of our ordinances in order to do what she sees fit, including ordering that they not reside at the property until such time that the property is deemed habitable again. When you speak to petitioning the property, it's my understanding the owner is deceased, so we have a deceased owner. The city can go to probate and apply for a probate estate to be opened and ask that the property be disposed of. I have done that on occasion for other municipalities that I represent. I have not done that for the city of Wayne. In all of my prior instances in which I do that, the city is on the hook for the costs of opening the probated estate, the attorney fees associated with the probate estate, together with the administrative expenses of opening the probate estate. There is a chance the city could be reimbursed, but it's not guaranteed. So at this time, the city has not petitioned Wayne County Probate in order to open an estate concerning this property. So I did hear that comment from the speaker, and I do want to clarify that that has not happened to date. We are evaluating all ordinances that we have in the city in order to maximize enforcement against this particular resident. And we would encourage residents to stay vigilant with regard to the property. And as frustrating as it is to keep reporting these things to ordinance, that's really our best tool, is to use our building and engineering ordinances, our blight ordinances, our safety ordinances, whether it be fire, or in this particular instance, the water not being there, we can call it uninhabitable. Those are our best tools moving forward as a municipality to ensure that we can bring this property back into a condition that's acceptable for the neighborhood. So they will be issued citations, anyone who's residing at the property, and I'm sure the administration can provide updates as those cases proceed through the court process here at our 29th District Court.
Okay. I apologize for the residents that have to live there and put up with it, but unfortunately, we are a country of laws and a city of laws, and we do have to follow those laws. I apologize, but the city attorney has stated what we can do and what she has done, and to the best of our ability right now, we are looking into this matter for you. So, thank you for coming tonight. I do appreciate it. Yes.
ITC, Tim Kosher, Carnegie. I'm the one that initiated this with a phone call to Mr. Miller, and I just want to thank Matt for pushing this issue. It's not a pleasant situation. Most of the people, such as myself and the Conklin family, have been existing on this street for 80 years, so it's not a good situation. And then I have one more thing. I work hand in hand with I'm with CLS, and I've been in contact with Lieutenant Strong. And on Dave's behalf, we've been trying to push a four-way stop on Carnegie and Clinton, so hopefully that will take place. I've offered myself to pay for the signs and whatever we have to do. Carnegie Street has become the old Detroit dragway, if you might want to say that, and somebody's going to get hit or hurt, and there's a lot of kids in the neighborhood. So I want to thank the council, and especially Bria, for that. Thank you. Matt?
Thank you. Okay. Next. Yes, yes, sir.
My name is Bear Shelby. I stay at the corner of Carnegie Street, just all my neighbors here. Now, this family or group of people that we're talking about actually has started a war with basically each and every neighbor on that neighborhood. I happen to have been considered the tough guy for a long time. They don't want to mess with me, but they have. Their children run up and down the sidewalk. Like I said, I'm at a corner house. I have a big dog, and he's mouthy. I come out and I say, please, little kids, don't run next to my fence and scream. I don't want my dog to hate you. Excuse the language, folks. I've been called the stupid nigger at the corner. Don't talk to my kids. You sound creepy. I live at a bus stop. I'm friends with every kid in the neighborhood. I watch out for all these folks' kids. And I just take offense to that. They've started an argument with people that are 7 houses down on the opposite side of the street. I don't know how that could happen, but they have. People 5 houses down on the opposite side of the street. My next door neighbor, Al, who came up, and then my neighbor directly next to them, they park in their driveway, cars running all night long. I mean, literally all night long. And I know this lady can't sleep with the fumes going in her window. That's just ridiculous, you know? I have what's considered one of the fastest cars in the state, and I creep down there. You could walk faster than I go down that street. These people fly down the street like you said, a drag strip. We just really seriously need to have something done quick before it escalates into something out of control. And that's all I have to say about that.
Okay.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you. If we could please be updated weekly in your report, I would appreciate it. Thank you. Yes.
I'm sorry, my name is Tracy Gamble, and unfortunately, I actually live right next door to these people. And I live next door to the people who were there before them. So I'm at like 3+ years of this chaos. And I think what is not really getting through, and I do appreciate everything that everyone has done, all the support of the neighbors. Some of them I've never even seen until the situation kind of united us, because it is that horrific. There are at least 3 to 5 kids every single day who float through the house, even in there with the dogs and the feces and all of that stuff. They're running up and down the bedroom driveway. My bedroom is right next to the driveway, so I am privy to every obscenity, every punishment of the kids staring at the wall. They even tried to follow my grandchildren home into a van that they didn't even know, never saw it before. So they're in the street all times of the day or night. The kids are at risk. Someone was brandishing a gun, and I hear that the city is taking the steps that they can following the ordinances. But what these people what stands out to me is they don't care. They don't care about following the law. They're confrontational, even with the police who come to try to help them. So what I'm sensing, and I'm a peaceful person, I'm a HUD mandated service coordinator. I work with 102 seniors. I bring people together. I'm at the point where I am ready to do something drastic because it's affecting my work, it's affecting my health, it's affecting my life. I cannot rest 24 hours a day. And I think all of us who pay taxes, whether we're renters or homeowners, we all want peace of mind, and home should be your sanctuary. This isn't. It's turning into a war zone, and somebody is going to get hurt because all of us are explosive. It's just that horrific. And something has to happen. We've been very, very patient. But how much longer? Something has to be done. And I don't know what else to do. So I'm begging for your help to rectify this situation for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I truly am sorry, but I was not aware of any of this issue going on, so I do apologize for that. Yes, and I do appreciate that. I do appreciate that.
If I could just add on.
You have multiple people in a two-bedroom home.
At least 12, 4 kids.
That alone is a city.
Yes, okay, please, please, please. If all of you want to talk, we will sit here and listen to you, but one at a time, please.
Be really quick. My name is Ashley. I live on Carnegie Street also. I do have a 2-year-old and a 7-year-old. We are constantly outside, always around the block, up and down the street. We can no longer go down that side of the street anymore. There's glass broken all in front of the house, garbage everywhere. I'm just not safe. I'm scared to walk down the street with my kids in fear that they're going to start something with me because they start something with all the neighbors. So I do beg for help for my kids' safety as well.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Anyone else on this? Okay, yes. Mr. Vorji?
Good evening, Mayor, City Council.
Good evening.
My name is Bob Borgi. I live on Flora Lane. Right now, I'm a little confused. I'm very angry and very frustrated. The other day, and I don't know what to thank or I hate Jason for posting these privileged and confidential documents that only the council members received. I'm confused as to know how a privileged and a confidential report would be given to only 7 council members could be made public. But I know Jason helped in that. I'm angry as to why and how a privileged and confidential report was released to the public. I'm frustrated because it'd be very easy for the council to correct this by putting an investigation on their own selves. They could make a motion, somebody could second it, and they could vote, and we could see who was willing to step up to the plate and be honest with the citizens that they represent, or who's going to say no and cower and back away. I know that one person in the city, and I don't know if he's a city worker, but I believe on Friday he posted his name was John Conyer.
If we could
And I
not
believe
use
he's a city
names, please.
employee. And he said he had the report. And I know Jason said it was found in his mailbox. But it gets me so angry that if you guys don't do the right thing, I may have to take the city and you individually to court. Because we need to know who's doing this, because it all reeks of bad politics. And I'll continue to struggle for the truth as long as I'm available to fight for the truth for this community.
Mr. Maxwell, you've been very patient back there, Maxwell.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council. My name is Maxwell Cameron. I'm the executive director for Wayne Main Street. I wanted to apologize for not being here earlier when you were going through our approvals. We had a pretty robust board meeting ourselves tonight, and things ran a little late. So I understand that both of our memos were approved, so I did want to thank you on behalf of Wayne Main Street for doing so. And then I also wanted to extend a special thank you to Lori with Community Development for helping us with some questions with our Scarecrow memo, and Matt Miller for helping answer some questions concerning the license agreement and approvals for Derby's Alley. So thank you so much for your support.
Thank you. Appreciate all that you do, Maxwell. Yes, anyone else? Yes, Judy.
How y'all doing tonight? My name's Judy Pullins. I live at Newberry Square Apartments. And I've got a major complaint, and a lot of people are upset about it too. The garbage trucks are coming at 4:10 in the morning, slam banging them things, waking everybody up. And, you know, we're senior citizens. Sometimes when we get woke up, we can't go back to sleep. The stupid garbage trucks dump their stuff, wakes the birds up, and they start hollering. Could y'all see about doing something about that?
The city manager will look into it for you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Judy. And you're wearing a boot again.
Yeah, I've got bone issues.
Okay. Anyone else? Yes. Mr. Osborne.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Council.
Good evening.
We were here at a special council meeting last week of Tuesday and a regular meeting prior to that. This special meeting that was called went into order as of 8 o'clock, I believe, correct me, and you came out at about 10:25, 10:35. Okay, and that was to check into this, we've got a problem in the city. What was the phraseology? I forget. But you know what I'm talking about. During that time, legal representation was to be forwarded to you, the council people that were present. I found that we have a roll call. 2 people were missing, 1 was absent. You did not call a roll call for the secondary time, which would show that the roll call would show that Mr. he's gone, no name. Mr. Porter was not here, said excused, and somebody else was excused, Mr. John Reza. He was called absent, but you never bothered to call the record on the roll call when they went into session and came back out because he didn't show up. But you went along and listened to everything. No, excuse me, that was the other meeting, sir, Mr. Gabriel. But you did attend that. You attended to everything, so everybody was here for that one. So we have a problem in the city of Wayne. Last time some citizen asked you, how much have you spent so far? So that's my question today, and I haven't heard anything from manager. We asked 2 meetings ago, is how much have you spent on this special investigation query questionnaire? I have told you before, I've got 34 seconds. And I'm going to use the word told, that the city administration does not work on social media or Facebook. It runs on documented paper and email. And I have stated that over and again. You can take my words back 3 years. And
For somebody to start putting, I don't have Facebook, but for somebody to show me what was on there is a disgrace. And I see not any one of the council people were interviewed, and I suggest that you be interviewed, okay? Because that is deplorable conduct, unbecoming a council person. And anybody, as the one other gentleman, you take an oath of office, you take an oath of office. We have too much stuff going out of this office. And as I said, social media.
Osborne, this is the
Thank you,
3-minute
Mr.
you.
Miller.
Please end your
And in
comments.
accordance with the Constitution, I will finish my order of business.
Please, Mr. Osborne, please sit down. Your 3 minutes is up.
I'm going to stand.
Then please step aside.
Okay.
Next person.
I wish
Yes,
to thank you very much for your great assistance,
welcome.
and I sure hope that you help those people that live on Carnegie Street.
We will.
So my other
Thank you.
suggestion was, instead of kicking out people that on Neighborhood
Ivansu.
Watch,
Mr. Avansu,
2 o'clock in the morning where problems are, let the police do their
Please.
job.
please, Mr. Osborne. Thank you.
You can have the microphone.
Brian Ivanchu, Hubbard Street. I just want to echo what I've heard up here. I think it's pretty sickening that you all voted to have a investigation. Rumor is $30,000 to $50,000 that this investigation cost. The end result was we found out that a employee made false accusations not once but multiple times to previous management and vindicated our city manager. We wasted this money, and here we are, tormented our city manager over this to find out that, no, there was no hostile work environment. There was no anything against anybody for sexual discrimination. So I'm with John Racy. I would like to see an investigation opened. I'd like to see all of you take a lie detector test. Find out who is lying. I think it's funny that you're smirking. So you must, did you release it?
Please. Mr. Avansu.
One of you leaked it out, plain and simple.
Yeah.
One of you sitting up
Yes,
there has.
I find that appalling.
Do you?
I do.
You're the only ones that have the
do.
document.
Exactly. So what
that
does that
appalling?
say to the people sitting up here? Somebody here is not the innocent person.
Right.
And
So I
you
would
all
like
should
an
be what-
investigation
You all
started.
should be concerned about who that person is.
We
Because
are.
they're probably going to be up
What do
here.
you think I'm doing? I'm asking for
Okay,
an
I'm sorry,
investigation.
I'm sorry, this is your time, I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
So I would like you all to try to vote and start an investigation. And find out who's lying. Who released that document? Who did they release it to? There's rumors that a city employee was taking it to people's houses. Where's that city employee? Is he being reprimanded for this? Where's the employee that gave 2 false accusations of being biased for his sexual orientation? Why is he still on the payroll? That's twice. What's going on with that? We'd like to know. And we'd like to know how much this actually cost us. Just to find out that our city manager didn't do anything wrong.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Blackwell.
Thank you. I was going to say Mr. Mayor. I'm sorry, Madam
That's
Mayor.
okay, I've been called worse probably.
I got a copy of the independent investigation for a hostile work environment. As far as I know, it was Peter Cottontail, Chris Kringle, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I don't know who the hell dropped it off to my house. You know, that we paid for this. This is an impartial investigation. Okay, it's up to you folks to make the determination. Okay, there's a lot of, this is turning into the SMORSA thing again. It's going to divide neighbor against neighbor. Okay, so be it. If, and I'm not addressing, I'm just saying, if the city manager is found guilty of any wrongdoing, and I'm not trying to try her here, this is not a court, and I'm sure the attorney will tell you that, a council can take appropriate actions, whatever it is. We may not agree with it, that's your job, okay? I'm not trying to, people said this has turned into one big, excuse the phrase, ladies and gentlemen, one big shit show, okay? And I want to know
from the special meeting, there were employees here in attendance. You had, and I can name them by name because they were here in an open meeting. It was Katie Samples, Ed Queen, Mike Byton, and Lori Goen. I'd like to know, were those people here on their own accord, or were they here on collecting comp time? And I'll give whomever afford them reasonable time to respond to that, maybe at the next meeting. But this has just gotten so out of hand, and in the document, it states that an employee that was hired in October of 2015, whomever that was supposed to pay 30% into the healthcare thing, but only was charged 10%. I want to know, have we recouped those monies, those extra monies, as stated in this document? Because that's not fair to the retirees. If somebody's not paying their fair share, you know, this is going to cause a bunch of divisiveness in the community, and we're better.
We are.
I might lose friendships over this, and there might be hostility from employees and everything. 3 words, because I survived SMORSA. When my ass was handed to me by serious allegations that were false and not true, they were levied against me. Interview me. I wish Mr. Herford would have interviewed me. And I say 3 words: bring it on. Because if they want to fight, whoever's got to fight, I'll go up against the best of them.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Blackwell. Is there anyone else? No? Okay, we'll move on with the agenda, please.
Next item is item 9.
Yes,
Items
wait,
for the
there's-
Hi, I just wanted to say thank you for electing us to the Parks and Trails Commission.
You're welcome.
We haven't got each other's contact information yet or a proposed start date, so we've gone ahead and sought each other out on Facebook.
Okay.
At this point, we have 6 of the 9 people in contact with each other. If there's any way we could get the contact information for the other 3 people, we'd like to meet and actually have a commission.
Okay.
A couple people have contacted me and said they're thinking about dropping out of it just because it's taken so long
Right.
and nothing's happened yet.
Okay. Yes,
And
okay.
my second concern was, how much have we spent on the alley right across from where Me and Ink used to be at? And how much do we need to spend to get the Veterans Memorial fixed up? The numbers seem pretty
The
similar.
alley, which alley?
The alley right next door to where Me and Ink used to be at.
You mean Derby's?
The demo
Oh, the
site,
the
Michigan
demo site, okay.
Yeah, we're calling it asbestos alley, but either way.
Okay.
Seems like we spent a whole lot of money on that, which we could have spent on the Veterans Memorial or something people actually wanted to spend money on.
Okay.
Is there any way we can make sure we don't spend that much money on something that people don't want again?
Okay, we will.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Is there anyone else? Yes, Mr. Wild.
Good evening.
Good evening.
As everybody, I've had a chance to sit down with this private investigation and just find it ironic that a city full of employees that don't have policies and procedures governing conduct within the workplace comes out in this report, and at some point a board of directors that doesn't have policies and procedures, a code of ethics, or anything governing or paying attention to what would govern their conduct as they sit on the board is going to make the decision on if someone else didn't do the same. It's an irony. It's, as I've said all along since I've lived in this city and came to these meetings, that our government has failed us on every level. It is a colossal failure. It's top down with the board of directors sitting on the top. You guys have all failed in your duty. Most of you are now no longer elected officials. You are self-elected officials. One of you has never had to face a voter and is getting out while the getting's good. Just, as I keep saying, it's top down. You guys have set this environment. You've allowed this environment to prosper. This is horrible. I apologize to Jeremiah Webster. You're fresh in here. Kevin Dowd, you're fresh in here, but the rest of you aren't. Some of you have been here a very long time, and if there's issues in the workplace and you've been here for 12, 15, 17 years, you're part of the problem. Okay? Looking for a solution now when you've helped you've helped the problem fester to grow is short-sighted. It is self-serving. And the fact that someone up here would violate the trust of the people and show that confidentiality inside the board of directors is irrelevant to advance personal gain and probably political gain for a friend is just horrible. And want to end on a great note. As bad as that is, the concert in the parks this year has been awesome. The Rotary's done a fine job with that. There's a lot of good things going on in the city, and just we come here every 2 weeks and it just drags us down into the mud, and it's always something new. And this time it probably cost us $50,000 or more. It's just sad, and it's time to turn the page and move on, with or without you.
Thank you, Mr. Wild. Is there anyone else? Yes, Kathy.
I thought he was gone.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm out of line or not.
You pulled the microphone down a little?
Yes.
Thank you.
I don't know if Kathy Rockwell, I don't know if I'm out of line or not, but the resignation of Mr. Porter has kind of upset me. I know this health is, with all this confusion.
Actually, you can't speak to that because it was an item on the agenda.
Well, can I
So-
say how much I like him and I'm concerned about his health and his family? Thank you.
You could say to him, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else? Please move the agenda.
Is item 9, items for the next agenda.
Yes, I would like to add an item for the September 4th agenda to add appointment to the library board. We have received one application, and that is for Lois von Stimpdunk. And I talked to the Nancy, who is the interim president, and they are all on board with that. They feel she will be a valuable asset to the board from her prior experience as the executive director of the library. So if that could be put on the agenda, please. Is there anything else?
Do you, Mayor?
Yes.
I'd like to put 7.9 for an investigation on the agenda. I'd also like to find out from the city attorney if it's possible, because it doesn't say in that, if we can require the council to take lie detectors. Thank you.
Move the
Next
agenda.
item is
Madam
item
Mayor,
10.
I have something.
Yes, I'm sorry.
I'd like to put on the next agenda waiving the confidentiality and releasing this report, and also telling all these people out here and at home what we've spent on this.
Okay. All right, and.
Madam Mayor?
Yes,
Can I put something on the agenda too?
of course you can, you're the councilman.
I don't know the address of Carnegie, but I would like to, at the advice of council, look at the option to have the city engage in probate.
Okay, all right,
Bring it to the next level.
okay. Is there anything else? No? Okay, next item.
Is item 10, their consent calendar. There are 4 items before you.
Wish of council.
Move without exception.
It's been moved by Councilman Racy. Is there support?
Support.
And supported by Councilman Webster. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
The comments from members of the city council.
I will start with Councilman Racy.
Thank you, Mayor. Despite all this last week, there was a lot of good things that happened in our city. Costa Village Bar had their grand opening. I'd encourage people to go and check them out. They also had, the family owned a shrimp house, so they're going to be doing shrimp and fish also. So I think it's going to be pretty interesting, and I encourage people to try it out. We also got to go to a ribbon cutting for Planet Fitness, and that looks like it's amazing. $2.5 million investment in the community. This weekend, also, Cross Point is having their Family Fun Fest, and I believe Hype is having their thing on Sunday. Both great events for the family. If you're looking for a free event, both of them are off the charts for people. Macon Transit is now open to Canton for residents, so you can now go to Canton on your $3, and that's pretty amazing to be able to go from one side of the city to Canton. It doubled the footprint of Macon Transit, and that's awesome. And the concerts this year have been great, and tomorrow is the Magic Bus tour. They came last year, was phenomenal. I expect a large crowd. I encourage to get there early. And then the last concert will be the U2 tribute band, and they're actually coming out of Toronto. And those guys, I've heard, are phenomenal also. And just want to thank everybody that's sponsored and given money to make that happen, because in this financial situation that we are in, it's great to be able to have something like that in our community, and it's amazing how many people could depend on that. And for some people it's a vacation. It gets them away, and it brings our community together, and there's positive things happening. And I just want to say that has been a great experience for people, and I appreciate everybody that's come out to that. And I also sympathize with the people on Carnegie. I was made aware of it this week, and every staff member that I talked to knew the address before I even could tell them. And I can tell you they are on top of it. They are doing everything possible, and I can already see them taking it to the next level, working on things. And I appreciate everything our staff is doing to make this happen, and I hope that this is taken care of as quickly and as expeditiously as possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Webster?
The Friends Group is looking for volunteers. In case you don't know what it is, Friends started in 1998, and it's to help any Wayne resident who cannot perform regular maintenance, either due to financial or medical issues. This year it's going to be on Saturday, September 8th, or if it rains, on Saturday, September 15th. If you're interested in volunteering, you can contact the Community Development Department or contact Al Demetrio, who is the Friends chairperson, at demetrioalb@gmail.com. And that's it.
Thank you. Councilman Dowd?
I have nothing tonight.
Thank you. Councilman Gabriel?
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and nothing tonight.
Thank you. Could we please have some decorum, some civility here? Mayor Pro Tem?
Thanks. Yep, we do have a lot of nightlife going on, generating in our downtown. I was over there in the weekend, and I saw people enjoying a good movie, or going to Costa Village and some karaoke, or having a fine dinner at the Avenue, or even going to US 12 for a beer with one of their friends. I encourage everyone to take a second look at our downtown. I'm seeing nightlife begin, and that's really significantly important because it wasn't there years ago. Also, I want to point out the Parks and Trails Committee. Okay, this is Made in Wayne committee of success that we as residents can participate in and make happen in this community. So I encourage everybody to call it out, get some information on it from the City Hall or from Facebook, and let's get this vehicle of Parks and Trails moving in our community, because this is a significant project for us. Also, I want to call out Senior Alliance because they have a senior home care assistance program, and the number is 734-722-2830. And call them up, see what their eligibility requirements are. I think this is a great program that they have. As you heard tonight, they are providing some additional in the future, but we're very fortunate to be a home location for this Home Alliance. Also, I will call out the challenge that Councilman Racy, that I will most certainly be glad to take a lie detector test. And at the same point, I would ask that you take a lie detector test on a line of questioning of the report within itself. And we should be fair and square. Okay?
Please, gentlemen, please.
And on that note, I also want to, first of all, thank Councilman Porter for for everything he's done involved in this community. I want to thank him for the respect that he's given to my family. I want to thank him for the respect that he's given to me. I want to also wish him well. I understand where he's coming from and what he's been through, and it's not easy. And last but not least, I'm going to leave this thought with everybody. Sometimes the heart sees what is invisible to the eye. Start following your heart. Start looking within yourselves and seeing things that you originally did not see. And that's all I have to say tonight.
Thank you. Thank you.
And
please.
I'm sorry. One moment. You know what? I'm going to tell you something, folks. I respect you. I expect respect from everybody. You are just not representing yourselves here at this meeting tonight. You're also representing all the population of this community. Okay? So keep that in mind. All right? If you have an emotional outburst or if you got to get something off your chest, there's a hallway for that. But here we are conducting a business meeting with the city for the whole population of this community. Have respect for that. Thank you.
Thank you. I just have to add, I had the opportunity to have lunch today with the superintendent of Wayne Westland Schools, Dr. Holt, and she provided me with information about the upcoming millage election for schools. Excuse me. Each member of the city council, at my own expense, I paid for having copies made of the upcoming bond meetings. The schedule will be put on the website to inform the people, as well as a list of frequently asked questions. So if you have questions regarding this millage coming up, if you contact one of your council people in your wards, I'm sure they'll be happy to speak with you and give you answers to those frequently asked questions. This is very important. If you don't have a good school, good quality school district, you aren't going to have a good quality city, and vice versa. If you don't have a good quality, welcoming, diverse community, you're not going to have good schools. So we go in tandem. And I appreciate her reaching out to me so that we can work together, because we are in this together. We need to work together. Wayne Westland Schools is the school district that we have here, and all of our children, your grandchildren, I'm sure a lot of you have gone to that school. So please, take an interest in it and work for that millage to go through. It is very important. Times have changed, and the way schools operate has changed greatly, and the funding has not been given to us from the state, and shame on them for that. But that doesn't mean we have to follow their lead. We need to show the state that we care and we believe. So a motion to adjourn, please.
Move to adjourn.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.